1. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Heracles Porsche here, also known as Gildenlock in various places, such as my gamertag, and we're going to do a little mini blurb on theaters today. Um, to make a long story short, this game's progression system is mainly focused around your rank. That is the number in the top right corner there, next to that little red symbol. And here we're going to just dive into a looky-loo in all the various theaters. I believe the first one is called something like Basic Training, something like that. And take a look at all the stats there. Um, as you can see, there's a bunch of numbers associated with what you can request from your alliance. And I'm going to make a video later talking about the importance of joining a really good and active alliance. But yeah, just take note of that for now. That's one of the key elements. Supplies per victory is a very important stat. I believe the victory supplies per day tends to stay relatively constant. But so the two key things are A, the supplies per victory, and B, the unlocking of new units as you progress through the various theaters. But as I said, also keep in mind all of the statistics associated with joining a an alliance. Very important to join a good alliance. So, all right. So first theater, um, it's like I said, it's basic training theater. I already did a video yesterday listing off all of the various units. So if you want a complete how's it going, Squid? Doing a live broadcast and recording that will eventually end up on YouTube. Thanks for dropping by. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to name all of these units for you guys, uh, but a lot of these you'll be familiar with if you just completed the game's basic intro. Um, but as you go through here, you'll see that now 120. I believe that shouldn't be too hard to achieve. I believe you start the game with 100 ranking. I'll have to. Oh, thanks so much, Squid. Hey, Swagmaster. I believe you start with 100. I'll have to go check that. So yeah, 120 is just just not just a couple wins under your belt. And I earned this on the first day. Um, and yeah, as you can see, just you have a core of 12 units that you start the game with, and each theater tends to unlock around the same number, uh, 5 or 6 units, or yeah, or seven. Um, and getting the first theater doesn't increase your supplies per victory too much. Um, but unlocked some units here. The Mortarman is definitely a notable unit that you've unlocked. So does fortifications and the medium bombers. Um, and let's see. I looked up all the statistics. This is a very professional video we're doing here, folks, on the number of people who've gotten themselves into each theater. And in the Central Pacific Theater, we have just over 60% of the players have actually managed to get themselves past this first tiny hurdle and into the Central Pacific Theater. So, like I said, that's just over half the players have even managed to get past that first little hurdle. And let's keep looking to the theaters up to North Africa. Obviously, this is a big step up from being in the Central Pacific. Um, but I actually did get this into this theater on my first day as well. Only 16.2%, according to PlayStation 4 trophies, percentage of players who have gotten this game have made it into the North Africa. So even if you just took the time to make it into the North Africa theater, you are already well within one of the top percentage players of this game. As you can see, a doubling of the supplies per victory, and you want to earn yourself a whole big hulk of supplies to increase your stats. So yeah, doubling your supplies per victory is definitely going to be a big step up in your progression. Um, I do not understand what the people in chat are saying, but just the same, thanks for dropping by. Oh no, don't talk about King Thunderbolt with me. That'll send me off in an angry rant that's completely unrelated to this. Anyway, yeah, the very notable units are the let's see, the Jeep here. This turret is pretty handy. This heavy tank is a big threat, and I used the rebels quite a bit as I was progressing. Um, Once I made it to East Asia, I replaced them with machine gunners for a very good reason because they don't really have any offensive power. But they're really a pure counterattack unit. But they were kind of a key interim unit. Um, and no, I do not have that mic there, Squid. All right, let me focus here. A paratrooper is also a very unique unit. Anyway, I went into all of those yesterday in my all unit broadcast. So, continuing to progress, we are in the Mediterranean theater here. As you can see, uh, another jump up in the supplies per victory. We're now at 15, uh, supply points for every victory you earn while in this theater, and a lot of interesting units in this once you make it up to here at this point. In the Mediterranean theater, only 9.6% of the people who've downloaded this on the PlayStation Network have made it. That's less than 10% have even made it into the Mediterranean theater, and I actually made it into this theater on my second day. But I'm quite fond of that howitzer unit. A lot of people like that minesweeper unit. That AT mine is can be pretty formidable as long as you're not if you're playing against a lot of tanks and they don't have any proper counters like that minesweeper. And Squid Agario, I'm just gonna have to ask you to take a break from. Oh, you really need to know? You really need to know my mic? It is a Skull Candy, I believe. There you go. Um, and yes, I do have Discord, and you can always reach me through my Facebook that I made just for Heracles Porsche account. Okay, moving on to the Eastern Front. Uh, as you can see, like every front, we're jumping up in supplies per victory. And it looks like this front's about to get a new unit 1 day, 9 hours from now. Mystery new unit. I guess there's another coming soon. Who knows how soon that is unit. Um, and Eastern Front again that cuts in half. Again, we're cutting in half the number of people who've made it to this front. Based on the PlayStation 4 trophies, only 4.9% of people who've played this game have made it into this theater. Um, and we are moving. Commandos is definitely the key unit to be had here. They are a very unique surprise attack unit, and they're fairly popular for a reason. Plenty of people also using that sniper as well, and good handful using that little tank factory there. And now finally East Asia, that's the theater I'm currently in. This is a very significant theater because this is the last theater in which you unlock any new units. Definitely the main motivation for getting into this theater, I would say, would be the machine gunner. That's that first common unit there, and like it is a common unit, so if you actually do make it in this very difficult to get into position, it won't be too hard to get that unit, but at the same time, Not a lot of people make it this high, folks. I'm looking at the percentage. Less than 0.7% are the is the amount of people on the PlayStation Network who've made it into the East Asia theater. This one took me significantly longer. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the Eastern Front took me 5 days. The East Asia theater took me took me 2 weeks and 5 days, so just under 3 weeks. Um, Again, as you've seen, every theater has had a jump up per by 5 in supplies per victory after past Central Pacific. And yeah, that's so again, that's your other incentive. Uh, Besides the new units you unlock is to increase the supplies you earn for every victory because you're going to need at this point you will have probably ranked up your units a whole bunch. Um, I would say the lowest ranking person in the East Asia theater would be like say a rank 6 player. Um, and generally you'll find them around level 7 8. I have seen some 10s. The highest level I saw was an 11, and 11 is crazy. Uh, Thank you so much. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Squidigario. And finally, we have the Western Front. It's absurd front to make it to. There are less than 0.1%. Okay, it says 0.1% have made it into the Western Front. Let me scroll very quickly over here to the leaderboards. That's as you can see, that's two people, and there might have been three or four before this. Um, no, I'm afraid I can't hear you, Squid. I can only hear you in in the chat. I can only see your text. Anyway, um, so yeah, I think it was like less than 2 weeks ago. There was actually nobody in that theater. So the the numbers are going up in terms of ranking. Everyone's ranking who's committed to this game tends to kind of slowly be going up. So slowly be building up. So those two like couple top players who are very committed to the game. Like I said, maybe 2 weeks ago they weren't even in. There was nobody in the Western Front. Now there's a couple players. Maybe over time we'll see a slow build up players moving into the Western Front and filing into all the various theaters. But there, as you can see, there are no. Well, it says find these missing units, but I don't see a list of units for this theater. And like I said, I'm 39 out of the 41 units unlocked. So, and I already know these two. You can see these two units are boot camp East Asia. There are no Western Front units. But again, it would have if you did make it up to there, and it would be a hard spot to hold on to, by the way, because you made one mistake and you would be knocked. Like I said, there's only two people who've just barely attained 3,000, and if they make any mistakes, they're going to be knocked out again. So, you know, yeah, it's like I said, it goes up another 5 points to 30 supplies points for victory, and yeah, there's some big jump ups in I would certainly love to have those extended unit request limits and donate a common unit donation limits. That would be great, but like I said, there's no special uh, units associated with it, so there's less of an incentive for me to try and get there. Although it is a ridiculous place to get to, because like I said, if you were in there at the time of this broadcast, you'd be like one of the top 2 or 3 players in the world. Um, Thanks for dropping by, Davo. We'll be wrapping this up pretty soon. So there you go, guys. There's your explanation of how the theaters work. I hope I've done a good job explaining. It's very simple. As you rank up, you you have a you earn more per battle and you unlock new units. So hopefully this system functions as your motivation for trying to progress through this game. I'm very curious to hear what everyone thinks of the theater system. Obviously, it relates very heavily to yesterday's video on units and everything. And I'm just gonna wrap it up, guys. So, like I just said, I appreciate all of your feedback. It helps improve the videos. And until next time, everybody, I shall see you Starside.